here to talk to you about your different options for humanities classes for your junior and senior years. I'm Mrs. Sullivan, and there's three other teachers here to introduce themselves.
I'm Mr. Sinks, and I teach senior humanities, senior English, English 4, and CSB.
I'm Mike Rogan. I teach CSB.
I'm Prof. Springer, and I co-teach CIS with Mrs. Sullivan.
And I teach the junior singleton class and then, of course, co-teach CIS with Springer. So we're first going to get started with the singleton options. And the junior year singleton is a mix of English and economics. And in case you're not familiar with economics, that's all about how people get what they want in a world with limited resources. So this class is an English class. We'll read and write and do different projects, but it's also how to better understand economics and the world around you. We'll look at things like business, money, banking, investing, taxes, budgeting, politics. I tell my students that you can learn how to become a millionaire in your lifetime in this class. And of course, we focus on how to have a happy, successful life aside from money. We'll read books and do discussions. We do some cool projects using Photoshop and Adobe Spark. And another thing I really like about this class is that we do Socratic Circle discussions on a regular basis about events that are happening in the world, all related to economics. So this is a great class if you want to work on planning your future, and especially your financial future, while becoming a better reader, writer, speaker, and thinker.
So if you take English 3 with Mrs. Sullivan, you'll likely take my English 4 singleton class. And we follow English 3 with a careers unit where you learn how to write resumes and practice interviewing skills. So that's a big part of the first part of our English class. Then we follow that up with global studies, where you're going to learn a little bit about world religions and geography and culture around the world. And most of that is all project-based applications, and a lot of it, and it's a really fun project to do. We round out the year by reading a really cool book called The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho, and it's one of my favorite books of all time, and it's all about you, students, people discovering their personal legends in life and our personal journeys in life.
So next we'll be talking about CIS, and this is one of the two block options. CIS stands for Communication and International Studies. So first I'm going to go over the why behind CIS. And we believe that no matter what job you have in the future or what job you hope to have, working with others is the best way to be a competitive employee and to live a good life. And we say that because, of course, our world is becoming more and more connected, more and more global, and employers say that people who have empathy, who have teamwork, who can work with others, they're the employees that they want to hire. So our class focuses on language, writing, but also creating empathy and knowledge and appreciation of the world and different cultures around the world. Our students who end up graduating from CIS oftentimes end up traveling and studying abroad. A lot of them want to go into fields like medicine and law because those are jobs where you work with other people and where you help people. And now Springer is going to talk about the communication aspect of our class.
Yes, so the C in CIS stands for communication, and we have a strong focus on communication in both Spanish and English. So if you join CIS, you are taking your second year of Spanish, typically as a junior, and then a third year of Spanish as a senior. Since communication is such an important part of our class, that is where our college credits come into play. We offer around 11 credits in writing and English, and then we offer 12 credits for Spanish 3, and for those who do Spanish 4 as well, an additional 12. So again, on the topic of Spanish, you take it inside of the block, so you have kind of more freedom if you need to take Spanish 2 in your block. If you need to take Spanish 2 and you take it in your block, you have a little bit more freedom in the rest of your schedule. And once you get to Spanish 3, you're learning content in Spanish. So whatever our theme is for that trimester, world religions or immigration or sustainability, you're learning about it in Spanish. Some other cool things we do are with Spanish specifically is at the end of the year, As a Spanish 3 student, you are interviewed one-on-one by a local community member who's a native speaker, so that is always fun. It's about 10 to 15 minutes long. We have some connections with Jewett with the two-way immersion program. Sometimes we do reading buddies with them and things like that. And in addition to Spanish, as a senior, we have something called Senior Capstone, or I like to call it adulting, where you learn a little bit about personal finance, credit, paying for school, budgeting, and we also take some time to apply for scholarships for colleges and things like that. International studies is the I, which Sullivan is going to mostly talk about, but I just want to touch that we usually focus on one theme per trimester. So some things we've done in the past are world religions. We've hosted a big world religions fair at the end of that trimester where students come in and learn about the 5 major world religions. We do cultures as a theme. We had a big cultural fashion show last year. Travel and tourism, where students create a travel magazine. There's an immigration theme where we read a novel in Spanish about a family who's immigrated from Mexico. And we have big TED Talks for our Visionaries theme. So those are some examples. We typically have a big project at the end of each trimester that kind of encompasses the theme of that trimester.
And so as you can see, a lot of what Springer just talked about has to do with our community, and a big focus in our class is place-based learning. So everything we learn, we want to connect back to the place we live. And we do that in a variety of ways. A couple ways that haven't been mentioned are that we have speakers come in every month or two from other countries, people who live in our community but have an international perspective, and they teach us about where they're from, and we usually have a celebration afterwards focused on the country that they moved here from. And we like to do field trips as well. So for example, when we're studying world religions, we go visit places like a Buddhist temple, or we did a Greek Orthodox church this past year. We also have an international trip where you can apply your knowledge of Spanish to visiting a location. And we do internships as well, where students get to go out into the community, be involved, and we've had some awesome internship connections with students at places like hospitals, law offices, and many other places. So that's the CIS way of thinking and the way we do things in our class. Thanks.
I'm going to talk about CSB, which is the Crater School of Business. CSB has been around longer than the Crater parking lot, kind of. What it is it's a business-focused classroom that is your junior and senior year. And similar to CIS, we have equal amounts of juniors and seniors. So we have our first years and second years. We really build off that sense of community and ownerships within our program. And we often talk about working hard and working smart. Ours is a challenging program that we use technology quite a bit. Each student's going to be building their own web-based portfolio, and they'll be using HTML and CSS to do that. Those are things we'll use in the class. We design things often. We also will be reading books and things, but we look at them in a different way when we present those. So it won't often be in an essay, but it might be in some sort of a graphic format that you can present what it is that you're thinking. We embrace internships as well. We'll start off your year with a difficult boot camp where we write college level essays. We go right into our careers unit. Post that, we start working on some skills units, and we really embrace the second years working with the first years to help develop skills for students. We are a CTE certified program, and with that, we often get to play with some pretty cool equipment, and that's equipment that's shared throughout our BIS community. We're very independent. We really enjoy seeing what it is that students can create, and like all programs within our BIS school for juniors and seniors, it's just another great option that might be the right choice for you.
And I would add, I'm the other equation of CSB on this side, and just want to add that we really view things from a problem-solving, and I would even call it an entrepreneurship lens. Most of all the projects and things that we do, we look at solving things through design, or like solving issues through creating things. So for us, a big part of our program is thinking outside the box and thinking about how to make things better and cooler and in a design kind of way using technology like Adobe Photoshop or Dreamweaver or maybe even a little Adobe Illustrator. We also offer up to 30 college credits through Klamath Community College. Most of those are business and technology credits. And we also offer Writing 121 in there as well. As Mr. Rogan emphasized, it's a super highly independent environment. And it's really supercharged with, working hard, working smart, and trying to create a path for you to success, either in college or in the workforce or trade, whatever you decide to do after high school.
Now that you've heard a little bit from each of the humanities block teachers about your humanities options for your junior and senior year, now it's time for you to fill out your preference for your next year's humanities classes. You have exactly 8 boxes to spend. So you are going to check exactly 8 boxes total, and these are going to reflect your first and second and third preferences. Now, below here, we've given you guys some examples for how you might fill this out. So, for example, if you are your first preference is to take the English 3 Singleton, you're going to mark that with 4 check marks. And if your second preference is to take the CIS block, you would mark that with 3 check marks. And if your least favorite is CSB or you do not want to take CSB, you're going to mark that with 1 checkbox. So we've provided you with several different examples to show you how these scenarios might play out. So look at these examples to kind of help you with how you might select your block. So I'm going to come up here and kind of just do one as an example. So say CSB is my first choice. I'm going to go ahead and mark all 4 checkboxes. And then say from there, the communication, the CIS block, it's not one that I want to take. And neither is the English 3 Singleton. That's not really one that I want to take. And those are both equal to me. I've spent my 8 check boxes. If you count them up, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that would be how I would fill this out for my first preference being CSB. Now say it's the opposite. Say I want to take CIS. I would uncheck those 2 boxes for CSB and then check the extra 2 boxes for CIS. Now say for some reason CSB and CIS are the same to you. I would check 3 for each of those, and your English 3 Singleton is your least favorite. So the idea here is that you are spending only 8 checkboxes. So you are spending a total of 8 checkboxes for your preferences. Okay. Again, down here, you have some examples for how that might look. And don't spend more than 8. Otherwise, you'll throw us off and we'll have to get in touch with you to figure out what your first preference is.
So on behalf of everybody, thank you for watching our short little video. We'd like you to know that no matter which direction you decide to go, you're in some really good hands here. Either program or either Singleton class is a unique class. It's not a traditional style class that you might normally take, and you're going to be challenged in ways that you probably wouldn't anticipate. And we're excited to see you next year, and can't wait to see what you guys create, do, and become.